Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Today I'm going to be talking about the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. Now, I've never really been interested in making my own envelopes because I just thought it was too much work with all the measuring and scoring, and then you had to cut with scissors the different corners. I just thought it was too much trouble. But when I saw this, I was really intrigued by it, so I went ahead and purchased it, and I love it. It makes envelope making just really easy. It's a total breeze. So let me tell you a little bit about this board. It's pretty small. It's got a little compartment here to store your scoring tool. It's got a punch at the top. It's got a score line right here. And then there's a ruler right here. In this area, it gives you all the measurements you need to make all different size cards from 2 by 3.5, sorry. And then there's an extra one that goes all the way to 12 and 21. That seems like a big envelope. Anyway, so let me show you how this works. So you look up what measurement card you want. Now, I typically make A2 cards. So this one says 4.5 by 5.5 A2. The paper size you need, this says 8.25 by 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. And then the score line you need to remember, which in this case is 3 3/4. Now, I made several of these with these measurements, and some of them were a little bit too snug. So because of that, I changed the measurements just a little bit. So rather than 8 1/8 by 8 1/8, I cut my paper to 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. And then I used a score line. Instead of 3 3/4, I used 3 5/8. And I felt like that was just a little bit better size, especially if your card can be a little bit on the bulky side if you have multiple layers on there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did this. Now this is the 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, and what you're going to do is you're going to line it up at the top here and look at your ruler. Now I changed my measurement, remember, to 3 5/8. So I'm going to line that up right here with 3 5/8. Wait, hold on. Get my scoring tool. So you punch, then you take your tool and you line it up on the right side here. You press down and it'll go right into the scoring line. You just score down. Then you're going to rotate it counterclockwise. Now you're not going to use the ruler again. That was the first mistake I made, and then I went back and read the instructions. You're going to go and measure it according to the score line. So this piece of plastic right here should line up exactly with the score line I just created. And then you're going to punch, use your scoring tool, and score. And you do it again, so line it up with the score line, punch, score, and then finally one more time, punch, and score. All right, now with your punch here, you can actually turn it over and it'll round your corner. So I want to round the flap that's going to go down on the envelope, so I line it right in there. And now I've got a little rounded corner. Okay, so that pretty much does it with what you need to do on the board. So then the next step you'll take is you'll fold down the sides. So I'm just going to score it down. All right, so I particularly don't like this little point here, so what I've been doing is I just snip it straight across. That way you don't have that, just straight across. And then I simply take my ATG, and I'm going to do the edges, and I'm doing the flap that's going to come over. Press it down, and that's basically your envelope. So I have one of my cards here. I made this one a couple weeks ago. It just slides right in place, and it's perfect. So as far as the front goes, you could like die cut a pretty shape or punch a pretty shape and put the address of the person you're sending it to. But I personally went to Staples and got some labels. So here's what they look like. They're just simple labels. They're stickers, cheap, because I just want this to be quick. So I just peel it off, put it right on there, and I'm done. So that's it, pretty simple, and now you have this cute little envelope to send your card in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.